Thank you, and I'll be very brief. I had the privilege to go to Echo Horizon this morning and speak with the kindergartners and the first graders and the fifth graders and the sixth graders. And they're all incredibly strong environmentalists. I was very impressed. We talked about recycling, we talked about sustainability. Someone referenced the IPCC report, which was incredibly impressive. But the one thing that I underlined is the thing that I underline all the time is Earth Day is great, and our individual actions are good, but it's really up to us to really celebrate the Earth every day and take those actions every day, and then call upon our institutions or those institutions where we have power to do more to actually recycle and be sustainable. Institutions like the Wende Museum, the Culver City Council or Culver City Government, Culver City Unified School District, and others. It's really up to us to be more systemic in our thinking and not point our fingers at this person or that person for not doing this or that, but to really transform the way that we do things as a society. And I am always incredibly inspired by our young people because I feel like they understand that more than any of the generations that I have interacted with in my time on the planet. But thank you for your invitation. I look forward to everything that you're gonna present, and I feel like myself and everyone else here, we're all gonna learn something from you, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mayor. And with your permission, I would like to take a minute to recognize Dr. Jampol and his excellent staff, Rachel and James. You guys are backing us up at the last minute. We had to sort things out, and thank you so much. And by the way, this is first of many more to come. We're falling in love with this place already. We're already naming trees and such, so we're not gonna forget this beautiful place, and we will continue. Thank you. Allow me to introduce the main event. These are the seers, the dreamers, the leaders of today and of tomorrow, and I hope for many, many more years to come. Allow me to introduce Ava Frans. Raise your hand, Ava. Thank you. The students you are looking at today will be part of the presentation about their Green New Deal. Okay. Abigail Cregor. Abigail. Nara Waisman. Tatiana Murphy Wheeler. Tatiana, and Claudia Egan. Thank you. And may I turn the mic over to Abigail?
Thank you, Superintendent and Mayor. Thank you. And the Mayor for such lovely words. My name is Abigail Cregor, and I've been working on the CCUSD Green New Deal since its conception, which began with ASB's Vice President, Delina Malagu, who unfortunately couldn't be here right now. She's visiting some colleges, as well as the President of ASB, Katie Carrera, and ASB's three sustainability coordinators, Eliza Khan, Cheney Zito, and Isabella Stalin. Unfortunately, they could not be here today, but I did want to acknowledge their effort, time, and energy that they put into building the proposal that fortunately I'm able to work with our young, they're only a year younger than me, our younger students who are juniors and sophomores who will be able, juniors and freshmen who will be able to carry this proposal forward after we graduate. A bit of history on this proposal. This is inspired directly by the federal Green New Deal. And last year, Delina, who I mentioned before, texted me. It was deep into quarantine, and said, hey, would you be interested in writing a Green New Deal for the school district? And immediately I responded, yes, I would love to. I believe in the value of systemic change. And although I also realize the value of individual actions, the most valuable thing that our government can do for us is protect our environment. And that's government at all levels: the school board, the superintendent's office, local government, sustainability coordinators. And we want to speak to them directly and make sure that they know exactly what our intentions are with this proposal. That being said, we first started this proposal with a lot of research, and we reached out to sustainability coordinator Sandrine Cassidy. I want to give her a huge shout out. She was instrumental in making this proposal come to light, as well as Carolyn Bustillos. She was also extremely helpful, and with their guidance on existing school board policies, water bills, electricity bills, we were able to build something very special, which is this proposal. It's 9 categories: education, energy, water, waste, green purchasing, construction, green spaces, community, and transportation. If you haven't had a chance to look at this poster up close, I encourage that you do. We have a couple around this area. So what I'd like to do today is briefly go through each of the categories so that everyone here can really understand what this proposal is about and share the vision that all of us have for what CCUSD could be and should be. That being said, our first priority is education. A huge issue with environmental protections has been ignorance and deliberate oblivion and just violent ignorance is what I think it is. And that's something that we want to ensure is never an issue with any student at the Culver City Unified School District, including elementary, middle, and high schools. And the climate crisis is very scary, and we're not hoping to, strike anxiety into little kindergartners or misery into middle schoolers. But what we are hoping to do is grow an appreciation and an awareness for our environment. And we want to do this through training teachers. That's our big component of this category, is training teachers using existing resources on how to include climate material into all of their subjects: history, math, language arts. The climate really does touch every subject, and I know that the teachers have the students' best interest in mind and would be very excited to do their part in enriching a student body that is aware and appreciative. So that's something that they're going to be talking about a little later, our efforts with that. Our next category is energy. A lot of the really big, scary parts of the climate crisis is our energy use. It's looking into the sky and seeing brown, or choking on the air, or smelling methane because the Inglewood oil field, the largest urban oil field in the entire country, is in our backyards. But a lot of students, they don't realize this. By using coal-powered energy to fuel our schools, being negligent with our electricity use and our heating and our cooling, the Culver City campuses are directly contributing to the climate crisis, as well as supporting these fossil fuel companies that are ruining our quality of life and the quality of life for many generations to come. That being said, the main goal of our energy category is to reduce energy use and work towards net zero by 2030. That net zero is very important to us. So I have a bit of a trivia question for you all. The Alenda campus, which includes the middle school, the high school, and Farragut, takes up a lot of energy. So would anyone like to guess what percent the Wende campus is currently running on green energy? You can shout out a number. 20%? 12?
1.
1?
4.
All right, so you guys will be pleasantly surprised to hear that it's 36%, but this is not enough. It is absolutely not enough. It's important to celebrate the small victories, but also to acknowledge how much more we could be doing. The next category is water. We live in a drought zone. Every year we have a new historically dry year. And in the CCUSD schools, our taps are leaking. We're watering so much grass that we don't need. And we are not using our water efficiently, but with simple changes that are at our fingertips, such as adopting a no-leak policy, ensuring regular plumbing and maintenance is on all the school plumbing to catch those leaks, and studying a water runoff capture system for each school so we can really use the rainwater when we get it, is going to allow us to reduce our potable water usage as much as possible and actively conserve water that will be used by our own community. I've got another trivia. Would anyone like to guess how many Californians are affected by severe drought yearly?
100%.
Yeah, 100%. That's 37.3 million people. 37.3 million people are living in a space where water is not an easy thing to come by. For us, it's easy, we just turn on our taps, but there is a reality where we turn off our taps and nothing comes out. And that's something that we want to avoid by taking actions like the ones I mentioned before. The next category is waste. We produce an unbelievable amount of waste every day at each school campus. Through lunch and nutrition alone, we're filling up every single trash bin, every single recycling bin, and every single compost bin with landfill. There is a lack of care and appreciation and awareness of what can go into which bin. And as a result, a lot of our students are mixing up their waste, resulting in us having to put all of our waste into the landfill. We're generating an unbelievable amount of waste every single day. We have to empty our trash cans every single day. So the big goal with waste is to getting the district to zero waste by 2030. And I know this sounds like a really unimaginable thing, but I will assure you that everything that you're using right now that is disposable has a reusable option. And although there's many corporate businesses that make you think that these are unattainable or, useless or just out of your reach, they are within reach, and there's things that we can do to just shift towards reusable products in the cafeterias, in classrooms, in our printing habits that will really drastically reduce the amount of waste that we're producing. We want to work with TerraCycle and Recycle Right to ensure that our recyclables are being recycled, because currently only 9% of what goes into the recycling bin is actually recycled. Also, composting is a huge focus for us. If you see, we only have landfill and compost. And that is absolutely deliberate, because recycling, it's a bit of a
Joke.
It's a bit of a joke. Yeah, it is. It makes us feel good to, just use a one-time use thing and just throw it in the recycling. But the fact of the matter is that it's ending up in a landfill in usually a developing country. So I have another trivia question. I would like to know how many of us here are composting at home. We can do a raise of hands. And how many of us are recycling at home? Absolutely. There's a lot of pressure on recycling and less focus on composting. But I hope that from today we can learn that composting is where it's at. Composting is what we need to be looking towards. It ensures that cyclical nature that our environment is supposed to be running on. Next is green purchasing. For this, we want 100% of materials purchased by Culver City Unified School District to be sustainable or sustainably sourced. And that's a pretty broad term, but by sustainable, we mean reusable. We mean sourced by responsibly managed forests. We mean 100% recycled content. And our cleaning products, you know, Earth Day is really a day for the janitors and the custodians. We owe so much to them for keeping our campus clean, but they're forced to work with these very harsh chemicals that not only make them sick, but also degrade our environment. So that's something that we want to do. Our next is construction. Although we don't have a lot of construction on campus, when we do have it, we want all of our construction to follow LEED green building standards. So this includes using sustainable materials, cutting down on our lumber use, ensuring that we've got thick windows so that we can maximize the natural sun and the natural cooling that occurs. For green spaces, this is a very big one for me, and I think for a lot of students. It's much easier to understand things that we can see. When I see a tree stump, I know exactly what happened. When I hear fossil fuel industry, it's kind of like, oh, that's a lot bigger thing to chew. A really important element in building an appreciation for our spaces is being able to interact with them. It's hard to learn to love a tree when all you're surrounded by is concrete. And it's difficult to want to protect your clean air when all you're breathing in is freeway gases. So it's important to us to ensure that all CCUSD students are having hands-on experiences with green spaces in the forms of gardens, in the forms of not native plants, and that's something that we'll talk about later, and just less concrete. Concrete is ugly. No one thinks, oh, I love concrete, you know? It's a calming effect, and I'd like to do a fill in the blank with a statistic. So a study done in Denmark surveyed 900,000 residents from ages 19 to 37 and found that for those with the lowest levels of green space exposure during childhood, the risk of developing mental illness was blank% higher than for those who grew up with abundant green space.
20, 25, 50, 70,
55%. Yeah. It's such a grounding thing to just be able to be around nature and feel connected. And I can speak from personal experience. Next, we have transportation. And our main goal with this is providing transportation so that 80% of students could walk, bike, or take public transport to school. Right now, we're in a pilot program with the Culver City buses and the metro, where we have the K through 12 pass, so students can ride the metro and the buses for free. I try to ride the bus whenever I can. I've been really grateful for that free swipe. So what we want to do is make that pilot project a concrete project that we will be able to ensure for every student. LA is plagued with terrible public transport, and there are places that you just got to drive to if you want to get to. But what we want to ensure is that people are using public transport when it's available to them, that they are biking and walking when they can. Lastly, we have community, and this is an extremely important one to us. We want to grow a cooperative community working towards local sustainable action. Like I mentioned before when I was talking about education, the greatest threat to the planet, this is a quote by Jacques Cousteau, and I definitely just butchered that name, but the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. And currently, most of our community is turning towards a handful of people in power or with connections or who are a part of environmental clubs to solve it for them and to ride their bikes and for them to go vegetarian and for them to plant trees and clean up the creek. What we want to build is a community through working together to protect and nourish an environment that we can all share together and that we can all benefit from. It brings people together, it brings us together. Being able to have this common place that we can all enrich and nourish is really important in growing community. So yeah, that's a bit of a taste of our proposal. If you would like to read the entire formal document that we have presented to Superintendent Tran, to Board Member Kelly Kent, to the entire school board, then you can scan the QR code on the poster and really read it word for word. But thank you so much for listening. And I would like to introduce Ava, Nava, Tatiana, and Claudia to talk about the actions that we have taken on this proposal so far this year, as well as our plans for the future.
Hi everyone. So first we're going to talk about a little bit what we have done so far, as long as we've been on the team. I'm going to begin to talk about our grass replacement project. So as part of our green spaces segment, one of the ways we're aiming to shift our schools to be more environmentally friendly is through reducing our potable water usage as much as possible. With this goal in mind, we must rethink our landscape design by implementing more water-friendly plants in place of the regular green grass. Water is a precious source, and our lack of it in California is extremely concerning. According to the EPA, Americans devote 30% of our water to outdoor use, and this includes lawns, to which our schools have plenty. We're aiming to resolve this issue by participating in the West Basin Municipal Water District Grass Replacement Program. The West Basin Water District Grass Replacement Program rebates $4 for each square foot of grass that is removed in residential or commercial areas. These grassy areas will then be replaced with more water-friendly plants native to Southern California, which is much better for our environment. To discuss the possible implementation of this program in our public schools, our team met with Jennifer Vasquez, who is a representative of the West Basin organization, to clear up some questions we had. West Basin will provide a landscape designer free of charge to help formulate a plan and to come visit campus in order to inspect the space. And then once this plan is approved, it is estimated it would take 6 months to complete. The school would have to pay up front for labor and materials, but a rebate check would be provided and the money could be spent in any way. In other words, this project would either yield profit or break even and no funds would be lost. We met with Mike Corrigan, who is the director of facilities for the district, to discuss grass replacement specifically in the high school, possible places for grass replacement, as well as addressing some questions we had. Ultimately, we're hoping to move forward with this project for CCHS and meet with a landscape designer sometime in the near future to really move forward with the grass replacement.
All right, in addition to the grass replacement program, with the help of Sandrine and Carolyn, they have implemented a liner system at the high school and all of the schools within the district, where there are 3 different colored liners in the trash stations, one for recycle, one for compost, and one for landfill. And they've been passing out educational materials to all of the custodians to make sure they know where to put each bags on the campus and to help educate the students. And then today, for an Earth Day event, the Environmental Sustainability Committee, we had a pilot program where we had tarps out at the high school, and we tried to have people place their trash, landfill, compost, and recycle on the floor. People were a bit shy and didn't want to participate too much, but we had about like 20 to 30 people come out, and we taught them how to sort their trash, and we hope to continue this every Earth Day and more in the future. So that way every student, especially at the high school, knows how to sort their trash. Also, Abby had mentioned green cleaning products. The Environmental Sustainability Committee has placed green cleaning products at all of the schools within the district. That just ensures that the custodians are being safe, as well as the teachers and the students, because toxic cleaning products are not good for anyone's health. And another thing that has happened in regards to our proposal is renewable energy. So the Human Rights Watch Student Task Force Club at the high school made a petition to the principal of the high school to commit CCHS to 100% renewable energy. I believe it was signed by about 600 people. And this is signed into the Green New Deal, and since the Green New Deal has been passed by Superintendent Tran, we hope to commit the Yolanda campus and the high school to 100% renewable energy.
So we've also been discussing future projects and things we hope to implement in the future. So one idea that we plan to implement would be making our CCUSD schools e-waste collection sites. Superintendent Tran informed us that the district plans to begin supplying students with one-to-one devices, and this process would generate a ton of e-waste. We hope to partner with Tech Waste Recycling, which has several certifications guaranteeing that the waste is not being shipped to impoverished countries. Their services are completely free and guards downstream control of the recycling chain. Additionally, they have a pre-established relationship with the city of Culver City. By having an easy and convenient e-waste collection system, it will be exponentially easier for our CCUSD community to dispose of and recycle e-waste properly.
Okay, so looking into the future, regarding point 3 of our proposal, we'd like to hope to accomplish using rain barrels as a natural source of water for our school's garden club and watering their plants. West Basin, which is the organization that also does the grass rebate program, offers rain barrels as well, and we'd hope to get a few so we can create an eco-friendly source of water for our school's gardens. Mosquitoes attracted to the water barrels is an issue we've considered, and we have a few solutions for when the project begins, hopefully. Mosquito nets, oil on the surface of the water, and then tablets that dissolve into the water that will kill the mosquitoes if they get past those two first barriers, are a first of a few defenses. And then also, in addition to our education piece of our proposal, Superintendent Tran generously mentioned that he would fund the Green New Deal members to travel to other CCUSD schools to teach about the environment and about what we do to other students, and hope to inspire activity in the future for when they get to the high school. We hope these things will become real in the future and are optimistic about the results. Thank you.
Another project that we hope to work on in the future is hydroponic gardening, to make an interactive garden at every school in the district. So hydroponic gardening, if you didn't know, is a method of gardening without using soil. You're able to nurture large varieties of edible plants regardless of the climate and space constraints. So we can place them indoors and outdoors, within classrooms or outside of them, anywhere within the schools, and we wouldn't need to commit a large amount of space to gardening. We hope that this would be an interactive, hands-on learning project for students, especially at the elementary schools, to learn how to garden. And Superintendent Tran generously offered to fund this project, so we hope to have this in the schools within the next couple of years.
So, as a part of the education aspect of the Green New Deal, we acquired some fact-check resources on ways to teach about climate change done by researchers, professors, scientists, etc. We wanted to present these resources to teachers at a staff meeting.
Angela Baxter, the head of teaching and learning, was very open to this idea and eager for us to present. But unfortunately, this was supposed to happen at the peak of the Omicron variant, when staff meetings were taking place solely on Zoom. So we decided it would be best to wait until next year to present these resources in person when we can get more attention and interaction from the teachers. So we were planning on presenting these resources next year as a part of the education part of the Green New Deal.
Another thing we would like to do is encourage more Earth Day events district-wide. The LAUSD school board passed an Earth Day resolution in 2020 where they decided to co-sponsor Earth Day LA, which is an annual event where there are community activities, educational activities. They promote green businesses, and they teach the community about waste, the waste stream, by having dump trucks and recycling trucks on the field to teach young kids and the community about it. We would like to propose a similar resolution for the CCUSD school board to join Earth Day LA or something similar, and we'll work on a proposal this coming school year, and hopefully we can get this going for next Earth Day.
Have a couple more ideas that we'd like to share that maybe current elementary school students or middle schoolers could take up when they get to the high school. A couple would be make the free fare transportation program permanent, which would be great, and then convert district vehicles to electric or hybrid vehicles as they age out. Implement meatless Mondays in the cafeteria and more like plant-based options in general. Recycle content, paper products wherever possible, compostable cutlery and lunch items like the trays, the plates that we use, and like cups and stuff, and then work with nonprofits like Tree People to plant trees on our campus. Thank you.
So this coming year, we hope to continue our community projects and make our district as climate conscious as possible. We will continue our current projects such as grass replacement, hydroponics, and working to alter curriculums, as well as finding other ways to reduce our district's carbon footprint, as mentioned by Claudia. We have worked so hard to fight for our planet and for the well-being of our community, and so I implore you to do the same. This burden should not be ours alone to bear. You too should do what you can to give back to the earth, and we should all collaborate on these systemic changes. Let's give future generations a chance, because we all deserve a future on this majestic planet. Thank you.
We just want to give one last big thank you to the Environmental Sustainability Committee and Sandrine and Caroline. You all have worked with the seniors and us, and we really appreciate your help. Without you and your generous time, this wouldn't have been possible, so thank you.
I am humble standing here and trying to understand the courage, the absolute courage that our young students look deep into their own personal scopes and sequences of influence and decide that within the scopes and sequence of Culver City Unified School District, there are things we could do better, things we must do better, and willing to start knocking on doors and approaching people. And I'm witnessing not just great information, but great inspiration. And I hope you feel the same way. I hope you feel the same way, that we have a structure to support and nourish dreams that become plans, become movement, and will become people that will change history. I've neglected to, and I'm going to put Scott on the spot. One of our major supporters, Scott, is from the West Basin Water District. And if Scott will come up here and share a few words.
All right, well, thank you very much to everybody. I'm Director Scott Houston. I serve on the West Basin Municipal Water District Board of Directors representing Culver City, among other cities on the west side and north part of the South Bay. And first of all, I will apologize for my tardiness, but it honestly was because of traffic. And I've had a really busy and long and wonderful productive day in different parts of Southern California, literally, because we had some work going on in Torrance this morning, and then I was out in Temecula with a whole bunch of water people talking about serious issues for water supply reliability in Southern California, and then drove all the way back in to here today on my way home. But I just want to say a couple of things really quickly. So obviously I caught the tail end of the presentation. I'm really blown away by the caliber of these young students and their professionalism and what they have obviously worked really hard and diligently on. And so I'm really honored to be invited, Sandrine, to everybody and what you're doing and how we can participate. And also I was really glad, of course, to hear West Basin's name mentioned multiple times when it comes to rain barrels and taking out turf, taking out grass, putting in drought-tolerant landscapes. Those are a lot of the programs that we're working on right now, of course, and we're continuing to strengthen those programs. So all that being said, we know that we are in we're in a major drought right now, once again, unfortunately. And so we're working with all of our civic partners, both the residents, the businesses, the school districts, our cities, the county, etc. How can we all save water? How can we all be better? How can we be more efficient? And so that's going to be one of the biggest challenges of our time in Southern California when it comes to future sustainability, future economic development, future making sure that our next generations and the ones after them can enjoy Southern California as a great place to live. But I think the one thing I would just leave on all of this, because again, I'm inspired when I see our young people, because they're the ones that are driving the conversation, and I think that's what's going to keep happening. And the young people are the ones that force the adults to act, and these are the folks who are going to be the next leaders, the next teachers and principals, business leaders, entrepreneurs, elected officials. And so I think it's great that we encourage them, we keep on listening to them, and you guys drive us to do the right thing in our different roles so we can have a better future. So last but not least, I just want to say I'm thrilled to be here. I am really proud of what you've done. I'm looking forward to actually reading the whole plan. I got the email and I haven't done that yet, but all that being said, I'm a partner to you personally and as a leader in the region, but also the water district, of course, and working with the school district and our city council members and team here in Culver City to make sure that we have a good, bright, sustainable future. So thank you very much.
I'm going to hijack the next few minutes and send out an alert. I'd like to recognize Council Member Waisman McMorrin, who is here, and I am hoping that she would feel comfortable enough to come up and share a few words. In addition, this is pre-warning. Two of my awesome board members, I think two. I'm trying to see Dr. McKeegan and Miss. The masses kind of messed me up. Miss Paula Admazola, and I am. So after Waisman talked to us a bit, we would like our two Board of Education members of the directors to come up and share with us their thoughts.
I'm just so impressed. I mean, I didn't have low expectations or anything. I feel like that's the implied indication there, but I'm just so excited. I'm so excited of all the, I'm just going to speak because I'm a little tall, so I'm going to pick this up so I'm not hunched over the whole time, but I'm just so excited by what's going on. Free fare, I am completely in on like, I could go through the list, but y'all did such a wonderful job. It's so exciting to see the progress that's already being made. And I know, and greetings to everyone. My name is Waisman McMorrin. I'm in my first term here on the city council. I'm incredibly progressive, like my shirt says. But I'm all in. I just think it's our responsibility to do these things to make sure that our community, our earth, what we have is there for you all, if you all should choose to have children, for your children, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just really excited. We're planning Pride, the second annual Pride this year, and I hope that you all might be willing to have a table at Pride to bring, we focus on mobility. We have a Pride ride as well as the rally portion, and this would be really cool for our community section of the event, because I think just more community members should know about what you all are working on. So hopefully there'll be that tie-in, and I know Paula has been working with us as well. So just congratulations on all this hard work. It matters. I mean, I know it doesn't always feel like the work that you're doing is going to have that impact, but I'm just rooting for y'all. So if there's anything I can do, please let me know. Thank you, Superintendent, and just everyone for having me here. And keep up the good fight. It's so important, and I just really value you all. So thank you for all your work. Thank you for the time.
Well, I didn't plan on speaking today, but I will just say, to echo everything that everyone else has said, we are so impressed. I'm a New Yorker, grew up around concrete, and working in La Cañada, and so part of the work that I do is around outdoor spaces. And so I'm super passionate about it, and I'm an instrument for you. So use us. We want to support you, but we also want to support the environment. We want to leave it better than we found it. So thank you for all of your hard work. We're looking forward to implementing this plan. And I would like to personally, I'm gonna get emotional, oh my goodness. I want to personally commit $1,000 to you today to get this started. I'm not going to commit $1,000. I'm opening my business, and that means I'm unemployed. Okay, so my name is Paula Mesola. I'm the first Spanish-speaking Latina elected to the school board. I'm very proud of saying that. And when the statistic came out that children who grow up in cement jungles have more likelihood of, suffering through mental health problems, that really touched my heart. And the reason was because I did grow up in Mexico in a small town. Well, it was small back then. It's our sister city, Uruapan, and I played in the green field, and I played Matatena, which was a game with sticks and rocks, and it was just a beautiful upbringing. Very low poverty setting, but at the same time, it was beautiful. All I needed was that space to play with my friends. And I am looking forward to creating those beautiful spaces here so that we can honor our ancestors, honor the people who were here before us, right? The Gabrielino tribe, honor our future generations. And I think what's most important is that the future is with you, and you're showing us your vision, your actions. And I hope that every single adult standing here, sitting here, can be inspired to take action, right? Take action in your home, take action when you get in the car. And I did drive here because I have another commitment at 6. And take action in all the systems that you participate in your work, in your school, in your associations, because if we don't take action in those systems, then the work is not going to be enough for the future generations. So thank you so much for bringing this. I am 100% your ally or supporter with action, and please do join the Pride Ride, because
again, that is another action that is happening from our students who are saying we need spaces where people like me belong. And so I hope to see all of you either at the Pride Ride, which is bike scoot, however you can follow us, or come to the rally on June 26th. Thank you so much and congratulations.
So perhaps with the burden of trying to say something inspirational, allow me to share this vision with you. So about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, a team of students came to sit down with me and share their plan. I've been in conversation with school leaders and leaders of the sustainability efforts within the district, within the city. But then I recognized something uniquely different. We saw our responsibility to address sustainability as a way of problem solving, skill set, resources. And when I talk to our students, it's a massive commitment. It's a belief. It's the desire to ask questions. There's no answer available yet. It is almost a driven calling. So I'm learning something quickly is that when you see something better, you invest in it. You keep pushing. You keep investing and supporting. So in addition to what our students had been proposing and carrying out, I'm aligning the district leadership. This is our plan. This is the plan. And as we move along, we will add more to it. I've asked Dr. Limbaugh, president of the West LA College, to begin aligning the sustainability, the 2-year program, so that our students will begin taking classes on the environmental sciences while they're still in high school. And it's perfectly fine. Just, I think it's 4.5 miles away from the school. We could be there, and our students could be there. And as well as we're building up leaders of the future, Miss Abigail, I'm just gonna call you Abigail. Abigail is a senior, and by August, we would have the team presenting to our teachers at the beginning of the school year. I'd like to extend a standing invitation right now, wherever you are, wherever you will be, come back. Come back and stand with your teammates and share your vision and your passion with our teachers. So in the loop, we're starting something big, a cycle. And allow me to stop my rambling with this. The cycle of destruction, the cycle of ignorance regarding the environmental concern. It's, once you break it, it cannot form itself. Once you realize how important it is and making commitment, the cycle once broken would leave behind a legacy of care, a legacy of ownership, a legacy of pride about our environment. And our students are engaging with such zeal, and for that I am grateful. I'm humble, and allow me to introduce Ava Frans. Would you stand up to be recognized again? Thank you. Abigail. Tatiana. And Claudia. Thank you, everyone. Unless there's any other, we have one important thing left. We got lots of.
Can I make an announcement?
Come on up.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. We appreciate your support so much. I did want to tell everyone that tomorrow the Ballona Creek Renaissance is going to be having a cleanup of the Ballona Creek. We are going to be meeting at Sentinella Avenue, right on the creek. I have the flyer on my phone, and I'd be happy to share it with you guys. It's going to be from 9 to 12. You can pop in whenever you want. It's a great way to feel like you're doing something tangibly. I find that really therapeutic. So yeah, if you guys need more information about that, I encourage you all to come.
And Holly Mitchell is partnering with PCR, so she will be there in the morning at 9 if you want to hop in.
Yeah.
Abby.
That's all. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you again to Superintendent Tran.
In the name of waste not, want not, using everything twice, and then what you don't need to, don't use it. We have food available. We brought in wonderful support from Akasha, and Akasha was kind enough to present us with, so hang out and talk to our teachers, our students, our student leaders, and get to know each other. So the floor is now open. Thank you.
Can we take a picture with Mr. Tran and you guys? You guys, wonderful.